Hello everybody and welcome to your broadcast of the defense as I get to look at the right camera as we'll also switch ourselves over so we can say hello to Blitz as well. Hey man, how you doing?
Good. I'm a little tired because travel, but other than that, it's been okay.
It's been some fun weeks for you, but I can tell you now, the fun is not going to stop. We're going to go directly into the game, so let's jump straight to it. That's not the overlay I hit. That's the overlay I'm going to hit right now as we have the defense tonight. We're doing Power Rangers going up against MFF. Sorry for the delays as we're working out a couple of problems, but we should be sweet on the live stream now for our first game of the night. We've got two series coming your way. So PR up against MFF. First time I actually get to cast MFF.
This will be like my 5th time, I think. Ooh. I've casted quite a few games with him.
Well, you've been doing a lot of the defense games already, so you've had some good practice.
I don't actually think it's even the defense games that I've been casting of them. We had to do the ESL New York qualifiers and something else as well that I can't remember off the top of my head. But, I mean, they're a pretty solid team. I'm not going to lie. They were a bit of a surprise for me, but they've got one of my favorite players in the Dota 2 Euro scene, Yapzor. Just a really talented guy. Like, everybody knows it. Like,
I love how you go through the entire list of players they've got, and Yapzor is the one man you focus on.
Yapzor's a standout. Like, that's, I don't know how else to put it. He's, like, the super underrated player. Not a lot of people know him because he hasn't played for any big teams. He was on BBC for a little bit.
Yep.
Walkender's Corleone. Fantastic player. I mean, the fact that he jumped from that to this really shows that people have a lot of trust in him. He's just one of those talents that haven't quite been discovered yet. In the vein of, like, Ritsu from North America, if you know who that is.
Yep.
Cloud9.
Yep.
They're really good friends. They're like the underrated bros.
Well, it's nice to actually have him flat, because normally I just look at MFF and go, hey, Mad's leading the charge. He's back with his old friend Soshka and playing with Sing Sing, who... Has he actually permanently changed his name now to Beaver Knight?
I don't think so.
So it's still just his troll name?
Yeah, it's just the name that he decides to use in-game.
Mm-hmm.
He does it in pubs, too.
It's no longer an alias for him, because it's just as well known as his main name. And then the Power Rangers lineup, which we haven't really talked about at all, because we are almost through our draft anyway. But J4, Cheshire Cat, Big Num, Chummy, and Didier, or Sun Ra, depending how you wish to pronounce him.
It's definitely, we should definitely just call it Didier.
I'm sorry, I'm old school. I listened to what he was telling me previously. Can I be blamed for sticking to my guns? Yes, I can. But the draft is done. So what jumps out at you, man? What jumps out at you draft?
I guess.
Sorry, looking at Blitz's screen right now, he's missing 3 heroes out of the draft on his screen.
I think the Broodmother pick is pretty interesting, just because the supports that they have don't have the best way of dealing with it. The Lion does well to counter the Wind Ranger, but their early game has to go phenomenally. Mm-hmm. I think this is going to be a bit of a change, because Paris is actually playing the Ember Spirit, a hero that I'm used to Sing Sing playing. I think somebody told me that Sing Sing switched to the off lane.
Did he?
Yeah. Because I think he said he was practicing offlane heroes or something. He's playing the Tusk, and it's actually Sakshika playing the Ember. And that would make the most sense to me. Look at it right now. What do you know? They might also just be dodging and trying to leave the Ember to one-on-one against the Brood. But that's a losing position in itself.
Yeah. Because what's the Ember really going to do against a Brood Mother? Like, he's just going to, like... I suppose he'll get to farm. Or are you actually talking like from the Broodmother where it's a loss for him?
No.
Like Flame Guard and Searing Chains, like pull him out?
I think it's going to be a loss for the Ember. Okay. I haven't seen this lane played, but I'm conceptualizing it in my head, and I don't think there are a lot of matchups that the Ember Spirit wins, and I don't think there are a lot of matchups that the Broodmother loses, most importantly. Like, how are you ever going to Searing Chains him when he has like 4 Broodlings with him at all times?
Mm-hmm.
For level 1 and 2, you get your chains taken away quite quickly, just by 1 level of the, or 2 levels of the spawn Broodlings.
Yep.
And you can't keep up in regen, most importantly. You have to get a bottle. It's the big thing.
Well, it's not that bad for a Brood. Like, you're talking about the Broodmother running an offlane bottle.
No,
sorry,
the Ember.
Oh, the Ember. Okay.
Because I don't anticipate how it's going to be easy for the flip side of things. How is the Ember actually going to keep up in regen compared to the Brood?
Well, he's got muscle behind him. There'll always be support. But for now, yeah, we're just getting ourselves a little bit more comfortable here for game 1. I believe we've managed to get through our technical issues. Already got a thumbs up from our IT guy that's here. I was looking at into some other things. So the audio should be fine, the video should be fine, the stream should be up, and we actually can focus now as commentators on our game of Dota. And they're actually starting with the dual lane in mid. I'm seeing this more and more where we see an extra support just being thrown into the mid lane to establish control before the mid lane even really begins.
It's really popular on the Radiant side more than the Fire side, just because you can alternate between harassing the mid lane and trying to give him an advantage. And also you notice he's going to go for the stack at the same time. Like, you can only really do this on the Radiant side, because on the Dire side, it's just not efficient.
Yeah. You need to have your other supports to actually do it. And even then, like, the Dire's travel time to get into their jungle and then back out again.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah. I actually had 2 series yesterday during the ESL North American qualifiers where there was like triple stacks and double stacks inside the Dire jungle. And there was actually no way for them to get up there and secure their stacks because the Radiant side just smoked up. They went through top river and just took them out before they got there.
Yeah, we're seeing a change where teams are starting to contest if they have a hero that can't contest. Like, I think I saw the other day an SF +1 smoke up and try to steal the big camp. I guess the biggest difference is just like the Radiant side is so well protected, and you need a few heroes to rotate in with you. Like, there's nobody on Power Ranger side that I can really anticipate doing it. If they had maybe like a gyrocopter +2, but they don't have the most offensive supports either. Like, Earthshaker and Witch Doctor are more passive-aggressive supports. You wait for the counter initiation more than anything.
But then again, like, if you're waiting for counter initiation, then MFF can just play the game they want to. Like, they don't have to come in and be aggressive. While Sing Sing's just having himself actually not the greatest time on this offlane. Like, I know we're only 1 minute and he's managed to find half a level, but this will make up for it as he'll come over and just mess with Big Num's pull. Mad still also had very little presence in this mid lane, but I suppose in one way he's kept the Earthshaker here, so J4 can't roam into other lanes and maybe make trouble for the Tusker.
Eventually what'll happen is that Mad right now is getting pretty underleveled, but he'll take the mid lane as soon as the Shadow Fiend just switches over, so that they can maximize on experience. Sometimes, like, there was a meta where the support would also sap XP with you, but because the XP and gold have been nerfed from that, you just let him take your mid lane for the time being. And Arise will just go between the jungle camps, because it's really important for the SF to just get uninterrupted farm. It's so terrible as an SF player where you get like 1 or 2 items, and you think you're getting ahead, you get ganked once or twice, or it slows down your farm by like 3 or 4 minutes, because your hero just isn't naturally tanky.
Yeah. What do you think about this build coming out from Sunra? Divyara, sorry. I will work on that tonight. Where he's actually on for the 2 points up in Lance, but hasn't skilled up anything yet, so he's actually holding on to 2 skill points at the moment. Like, is it still worth having that value point up in Doppelganger?
Yeah, for sure. He probably just hasn't leveled it in case he needs to go for, I don't know. It's probably just in response to the fact that he's not being pressured at all. And this gives him at least options to work with. Like, he's not going for stats or anything. That'd be kind of absurd, but it's when you decide to go for the Phantom Rush that matters most. And you probably leave it at level 1 the entire game anyways.
A little bit of trouble here for Arise. Oh, Chomi thought he could actually capitalize on the situation. Gonna bottle charge up. Not interrupted by the attack from Mad. But now he just keeps J4 out. They went for the Fissure and Mad had an Invis rune. So that's the reason why Arise just felt so confident to stand up against the Wind Ranger. She should be very lucky that she survived through that. Especially when she didn't have Wind Run available.
She has her bottle though. Arise is actually pretty far behind when it comes to CS. Even with the help of the Dazzle here. Like, luckily for him though, he has the stacks to fall back on eventually. I think that's 3 stacked if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm seeing 3 different creep camps. So he's got some way to get back into the game if he needs. Whereas the Wind Ranger just has to dominate the lane flat out.
Yep, so this may should be our first blood with the Fissure to actually connect. And yep, there it will be. The Broodmother Spirelings take care of the rest. And then now they can even move over for a little bit more, so they chase after Soccer. And with the Spirelings behind him, he's got nowhere to jump away. There's no Flame Guard, there's no Searing Chain, there's no mana for any of that anyway. So the poor man's shield will help him survive. There's a Shallow Grave available for the Dazzle, so they will be able to keep him up. And the stun, yep, so it comes through the tree line, but Brood just goes straight back into the webs, back to safety. So MFF really being pressured on their lanes now. They snowball actually underneath the tower, Sing Sing, going very deep there on Chomi. And takes a lot of damage for his efforts. Doesn't really seem to achieve much from just that snowball in.
He just doesn't have anything to do at top for the time being. And I actually think he should be top because the Earthshaker is rotated to this bottom lane. So he's only against the dual lane of the Witch Doctor and the Phantom Lancer, which is pretty dangerous, but you have to kind of create pressure on the lanes, and this is what I was talking about. Like, Broodmother just naturally doesn't lose lanes, and worst of all, she destroys trend lanes, Toby, because under-leveled supports are just her thing. Yep. And that's why you never see that 3-1-1 setup like we used to.
Yep.
You see people go for the dual lane to try to split XP and make it okay. But if you've got like a level 2 Lion, a level 3 Dazzle, he's actually level 2 as well. Like, what do they actually do against Broodlings? You don't want to use your stun for that because then the Brood just swarms on you. Yep. So now this is just an empty lane. Like, the Brood is actually absurdly farmed. He even has a medallion at this point. So if they wanted, they could go for like a super quick Roshan. You pretty much just, like 5 shot supports with that and the spawn Spiderlings. Just look at the armor right now. Lion has 1 armor. Ember Spirit has 2 armor. Like, Dazzle has 2. Like, combined between them, they'll go into negative armor if they combine themselves against the Medallion.
It's just a nightmare for him. Because there's no game plan I can see to get their control back again. Because if they try it, then what's really going to happen here? If they go in, they might kill off the Broodmother, but they're going to lose 2 or potentially 3 heroes in order to do such a thing. And if you also commit to the Broodmother, then Diddy Ra's going to get a lot more space on this Phantom Lancer on the top lane. And if he doesn't get the space, well, even then he can actually rotate himself into the jungle pretty shortly, and then Witch Doctor can take the lane, and he'll find his level 6. And what's a level 2 Dazzle going to be doing up against a level 4 Witch Doctor?
Yeah, precisely. That's exactly what I meant when I said this. This pick from PR is just so good. The Broodmother pick. Like, this is why you see often teams will just have like their one-off strategy revolving around it. Mm-hmm. Like, almost every team should have some sort of pocket Brood strat ready. I think I've seen it like just insta win like 3 or 4 games before, but this might actually be how they come back in. He doesn't have the... Oh, but that shackle shot.
Shackle. The first raise was also missed from a rise, and now all out time for the fissure, and they actually turn for the power shot.
Oh,
now this is not a way out of here. The max range raise comes back off cooldown, and Sing Sing is able to just barely survive.
Okay, the Wind Ranger was gone. Like, we agree on that, right?
Yeah.
Like, he had enough time to get out of there. He definitely shouldn't have turned around. Like, that was a good opportunity. It was... you trade nothing, you don't really lose a lot of net worth, but as a result, like, Arise just completely is ahead now. Like, there's no way he should have died there. Just continue to run, don't risk it. Sing Sing was not in a position to die whatsoever. Yep.
Not unless that, well, even if the fissure like traps Sing Sing over on the side of Wind Ranger, there'll be more problems for the Wind Ranger than anything else.
Yeah, it's just a one race. When you're in that range, 100% have to run away. Mm-hmm. But meanwhile, at bottom, Sakshka, yeah, Paris actually has gone the bottle, like I said. You have to. These are the lanes where you can just... Toby, if you ever want to be an analyst, just be like, he's going to get a bottle. He's against a Brood. There's like no carry that won't do this.
Is that really all it takes to be an analyst, Blitz? All I gotta do is like, yeah, he'll get bottle.
Yeah, he'll get bottle. He's against a Brood.
That's it. Just have it on. You know, actually, like, there's actually playbooks like that for play-by-play casts where you have like certain catchphrases that you insert in specific situations. I'll remember this one. Yeah. I can sound smart.
Most of the time, it's just when you're. It's pretty rare to see Brood in a game nowadays. Like, when's the last time you saw one? But when you're playing against it, there's like a very specific style that you have to do, which is maxing on regen. But
this is going to be a little jump in with a fissure. They have enough time. Cheshire Cat almost gets the kill over on that, but he gets the Shallow Grave off in time. So they kill off the Broodmother. It's the Tusker who's able to do it. They're still committing so much to do this. So like, yeah, I see the Brood dying. And the SF is still farming up inside the jungle, but I'm also looking at a Witch Doctor and PL getting a lot of space on top lane.
Yeah, for sure. Like, the Phantom Lancer is completely okay with the pace of this game right now. He's dominating when it comes to net worth. Like, he has, after he gets the last hit on this tower, he's gonna more than double Sakshka's net worth. Or no, that's alright.
They get snowball in. Really nice shards from Sing Sing. That's actually holding Chomi in place, but Arise, not the perfect raises. Tried to go for the medium one first and ended up flying a little bit off the rails. So Wind Ranger able to survive, and she'll have to trigger her bottle charge now, which also does activate the DD rune.
This is just going to be a rough scenario all around, because Bignum is just getting really greedy in the jungle right now, and his level 6 is going to be so strong because there's not a whole lot that can cancel it reliably, just because this line isn't going to get a lot of farm. Like, you're going to see a lot of the times that Yapstor is going to be playing that 4 position role where he gets an item really quickly, but when you're against a Brood, your game plan just completely changes. And when I said double, I misspoke, but he had like more than 2,000 net worth on the Ember Spirit. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, the Broodmother, like, she still, even with that death, has much more net worth.
Yeah. It's that thing with the Broodmother. Like, even if you do find the kill, you never stop her farm. Because she can always go anywhere. Like, you can take over any jungle. There's no way to control it without a huge investment of, be it dust, sentries, or some kind of like counter to her invisibility. Also, guys, just let us know too. Our IT guy is about to walk out. But let us know in the chat. I'm watching the chat right now. Is our live stream back up and running? I'm getting a nod from the side. I'm looking for like some comfort zone. Like, give me a bear to cuddle.
Man, Christian's the man.
He really is. If this guy doesn't sleep. He really doesn't.
Whenever I complain about my schedule, I should remember this.
You should.
Alright, so the Earthshaker somehow has managed to pick up levels 2, and the Broodmother is just playing super aggressively, because he knows he can. And I can't... It's hard not to focus so much on the picks, just because this is going to be a determining factor. At the same time, Arise has a ton of net worth. Like, he's second on the charts. Unfortunately, the Phantom Lancer's first, and the next two after that are both Power Rangers players. And
that's what I'm actually worried about. Like, I'm actually looking at this...
Yaptor in this jungle, he's 100% dead. Like, look at that. The damage on it is just unreal.
The hilarious thing is, too, like, look at the Broodmother's build. Like, he doesn't even care about the point up in bite. He just wants webs and spiderlings. He doesn't need anything else. So that early Roshan, like, you're talking about it before, you can get insatiable hunger, maybe you do get that bite, and you just have a crack at Roshan. But Cheshire Cat just wants to make sure this bottom lane of MFF is completely destroyed. Because by doing so, look at him come out and hit Paris. He's got so much time to attack. With the spawn spiderlings, defensive spirit is forced out of him. And they had some help from Manifest. They're going to jump in because Orion
He's getting blocked by his own spiderlings.
It was also Sochka in front of him, burning both the spiders as well as Cheshire Cat. But again, I'm seeing Arise now rotating down to the bottom lane, or Tuskar rotated before. It's going to always require 2 cores in order to find these kills, while Sundra is attacking into a tier 2 tower, and he's not being stopped. And if things do get rough on bottom lane, he's already got the BTs. So he can just BT himself into this fight.
Yeah, being able to Seputsu travel into a Broodling, and then they just go for a surprise kill, is going to be incredibly strong. I don't really know. What's probably going to have to happen if your MFF is you play passive aggressively. What I mean by that always, whenever I use that term, is you wait for things to happen and then you just all out assault. So you wait for your Ember to get gone on, and then everybody just ports in and does what they can to dissuade Power Rangers from getting complete map control.
Yep.
But the problem right now is that it doesn't really matter if the Wind Ranger gets too much farm. All that matters is if the Phantom Lancer and a Brood have a good time, then you can auto just like win 2 lanes. Like, look at this right now. Matt is just forced to TP out. Like, anytime the Brood finds somebody in the jungle, it's almost kill by himself.
I don't know if he can kill Arise, however. he's actually taking a lot of damage. You're going to get Dust up. They get the follow-up stun and the Requiem. The Centaurs are making their way in, but he doesn't take a damage. So they don't actually stop him from moving inside these webs. He does still have that dust on him, so he's revealed, but he just goes right over the top of the cliff for Rise, trying to just get the raise off, but it's off target. And Cheshire Cat survives.
It's just more time wasted by him. This is all you really have to do. And now the entire team's rotating over. They're actually going to run into Sing Sing right now. He's going to get shackled 100%.
Yeah, and they just commit the Death Ward and Fisher. That's a very simple kill. It's not like you're going to be waiting for that Death Ward. It's a level 1 Death Ward. You get 1 kill, you're securing it back out before anyone can respond.
Yeah, when we used to play in Korea, like, we'd pick Bambo, the Brood, and you can do this. Like, a lot of people say, oh well, Brood's a hero that you can't play around, but she is, because there are going to be some heroes at that bottom side of the map. They don't want to devote all 5, but you send like 1 or 2 heroes, and all you have to do is Power Rangers is smoke up, gank for the Brood, and it's a free kill every time, because they're never going to anticipate the extra heroes. It's like a level 4 Lion and a level 5 Dazzle. What do you do? What do you do with that? Like, that's not your game plan right there. The good news for them is that Arise is getting like an absolutely filthy amount of levels in farm, but he has to, like, this first smoke and haste have to accomplish a lot.
He's still behind. Okay, they're going to find one, and they are going to accomplish a lot. They're going to kill off Cheshire Cat, and a fair amount of his spiders to go with it. So that's decent for him. And that brings him back. I was about to say he's 500 net worth behind the PL, and now he's only 200 or 150 after that gank. Looks like Sing Sing wants to keep it going, though. Chasing up to J4. Gonna go for the Walrus Punch, but J4, okay. Turn for the Fisher. The Shackle didn't come in time. It was a double hero Shackle. Tommy's managed to hit a lot of those already tonight, but it wasn't quick enough to save him from the death of the race.
Just really well played. Sing Sing's been playing this game pretty well, like, with what he's been given. He's been pretty active on the map. The problem with this type of style, though, is it's a little bit inconsistent. Like, you have to get a lot of kills, but I mean, somehow it's kind of working out for him.
He's finding him.
He's finding him left and right.
Pig Nun needs a little bit more regeneration, though. That Voodoo Restoration won't do it. And again, SF comes in, finds the kill with that with that race. If Chommy had enough mana for a power shot as well as a vision on that hill, he might also have a crack at Yapsaw. And he just doesn't know, so he power shots the creep wave instead. But MFF, they're still committing 4 heroes to do what they're doing. Yeah, they're finding kills, but I'm still not feeling like they're back in this game. The SF's getting big, but the Broodmother's still having a great time on bottom, and the PL is still free farming top.
Yeah, I think the game plan right now for MFF is just to kill everybody else and kind of ignore the Phantom Lancer. Like, they're gonna go make another excursion in their jungle, and I really like this. Like, this is a good game plan overall. Bignum's just gonna get rolled on. He's 100% dead. Yeah,
they're right behind him. He may have his own sentry walls down, trying to feel safe here, but it's just not possible.
No, I really like the way that MFF is playing. Like, they're making the most of their situation. You can't really gank the Phantom Lancer right now with what you have, and the turnaround potential is a little high. But they realize, like, the downside of Power Rangers lineup is that they don't have that 5-man potential. They have to go for these, like, one-off pickoffs with their supports, where you smoke into the jungle and try to find somebody. And this is where the Phantom Lancer comes in. He's the guy that will take care of all of this space. He's saying to himself, okay, we don't have team fight, but what does it matter when I can 1v4 your team?
Yep. That's actually what I'm looking at. Like, it's what I've seen multiple times in the games I've been casting recently too, where, like, it doesn't matter if
Arise though. Oh, he's gonna one-shot him almost. Alright, Arise is just going ham. He's just doing him.
I wasn't even looking. I was trying to find him on the map.
That's huge. He just found him in the jungle, and the Phantom Lancer was farming a creep camp, and he just stood right on top of him and ult raised him. Like, Arise is playing far right now. He's got 8,100 net worth already. He's the main reason why MFF have been able to catch up so hard in this game. And the supports too have done a really good job now of not dying and keeping up. Like, the fact that Mads only died 0 times actually is pretty absurd.
He came close once, but he got the timing on the grave, and you're right, like, I would have expected Broodmother to have a lot more of an impact, but it's also a Broodmother that didn't get anything like an early Orchid. So there's no, like, the solo pickoffs are only based on Medallion as well as Spawn Spiderling attacks. There's no other extra burst, damage, or control.
I'm starting to see, like, a shift where it's actually Power Rangers that are playing kind of passively. It just feels like they're kind of just playing split up Dota right now. Like, J4 is going to go down. There's some heroes here, and they're going to pick off Yapsaw, but they have to just get out.
They got blink off cooldown in 4 seconds time. There's no way Bignum escapes from this one. Arise is already making the play for it. They should get Searing Chains on the Wind Ranger. This could be even bigger, as he will Windrun himself up. But that does not save his life. The Dazzle, again mad. He's going to TP himself back to base and heal up in time. The shallow grave protects him. The Radiant did lose their courier in the middle of all of that, so that's the only downside. Didn't have anything on it.
They lost their Lion too. He got picked off by the Broodmother, I believe, but this is still fine. Like, what the main thing that makes this okay is just that Arise is getting most of it, and that solo pick off on the Phantom Lancer, I can't say enough. That was absolutely massive. If he doesn't get the solo kill on the Phantom Lancer there, Power Rangers is probably just like, whatever. We don't actually care what's happening on the southern side of the map, because our PL's getting huge.
Yeah, and the PL just completes his Diffuser Blade. Like, this is not even 17 minutes in, and he's got his BTs and Diffuser Blade with an extra Ring of Aquila and Wand on the side. Like, this PL almost looked like he can go 1v3 quite comfortably. And it looks like this time Yapsaw is finally going to go down. Or maybe not. Sunra, not a healthy man. As in comes Sochka trying to help him out. The Doppelganger will start, and he's burned off almost all the... In fact, he's burned off every bit of mana that Ember Spirit's got. But Arise winding up on the ulti. Sunra, he can't Doppelganger. It was still on cooldown. They may have taken out the line once again, but now they may even lose Cheshire Cat. As Sing Sing comes in, shackled to the tree line. Chommy keeping the control up. Radiant puts the sentry ward down. They've got him all over the place. They can see Cheshire Cat moving around and chasing after Sochka, who does have an extra spirit, so he's trying to just bait them out. He didn't have a lot of mana, so he only had one real play there thanks to the magic wand. But Power Rangers really aggressively coming into MFF's jungle.
Yeah, there's no way that you take that without your Earthshaker there. Like, I don't actually know why they made that excursion in when everybody wasn't ready. Like, I'm okay with the Phantom Lancer coming in there if the Earthshaker's there to back him up, because he would have been able to get out scot-free if, like, anybody was near him. But I think he also wasted his Doppelganger because he wanted to get out of the chains. But then the SF just blinks in, pops his ulti, and Arise is just going ham on them right now. But they kind of have to play this a little bit better, otherwise the Shadow Fiend is just getting way too many free kills. Like, he's already 8-1 right now against a lineup that I thought he was going to be disadvantaged against from the get-go.
Yeah, it's crazy to see how much space he created. Like getting solo kills over on someone like the PL inside of his own jungle, and then the rotations at the bottom lane. Not all of them worked, but half of them did. And now he's sitting at almost 10,000 net worth, the 8.3k of the PL. But the PL's first 2 interactions as well on this map were deaths.
Yeah, the solo kill in the jungle was huge. Him rotating at bottom, again, I feel like it was okay, but they just had to play around it a little bit better. And Ra, I mean, at one point I thought this game was just going to be him taking over and being able to do whatever he wants, but now it's just the fact that Arise can't really die. Like, Sing Sing has really just become almost like a utility hero, and at some point that doesn't really pay off, but right now it's really working out.
Big Num. That paralyzing cut's causing real problems for Yapsol, keeping them in range to the death ward. The spirit jump over will happen, but now Sochka's got no way to go. And that's going to be a double kill coming in for the Witch Doctor, as well as the tier 1 tower for Power Rangers. So finally they can establish a little bit more of a permanent control on the inside the Radiant jungle without always having to look behind themselves at the tier 1 tower.
Yeah, they showed themselves mid with 3, and then they only showed 2 at bottom. They weren't exactly ready for it. And that's going to lead to a pretty catastrophic fight at bottom, because they lose 2, and like you said, they lose the tower, which is just going to create space in a little bit more. But things are overall kind of even-ish. Like, the game is still anybody's game. Like, there are moments for both teams, but like the overall farm from Power Rangers is just better because they have heroes that can just dedicate it.
They're coming in, Sing Sing. If he can get these shards right, Roshan already done the dire. PL will grab the Aegis, but look at a rise position on the cliffside. Let the Requiem fly. They've already taken out the Wind Ranger. He can do the Rages from the rest of the way and just attack on down. It's 3 down for Power Rangers. Make it 4. Can they actually get the full team wipe? They're looking for a genocidal attack, and they've got it. Sun Ra being fingered down. He will respawn up. The Yapsol try to time the Earthspike perfectly. They get it. Raises 1, and the rest of it's just basic attacks. MFF. They just punish PR so hard.
That was just perfect teamfight positioning. Like, Arise getting on top of that cliff, getting his ulti off into almost near point blank. Like, that's about as great of an uninterrupted ult you're going to get without a BKB in hand. And then he just starts firing down raises. Like, that must have been the most frightening thing in the entire world. Like, they have no idea what's going on. Just like, we are dying.
Well, PR couldn't see it. They had nothing on the cliffside either.
Now, I mean, the Earthshaker should not have been inside the Roche pit with them too. Like that, there were a lot of mistakes made there that just kind of opened up the map. Like you only really need the 3 main core heroes to be inside there, dealing damage, and the Wind Ranger too, not having an Aghanim Scepter there, made the Roshan attempt so slow. There were just so many issues in these last few engagements. Like, they got a lot when they got that tier 2 tower at top and the tier 1 tower at bottom, but at the same time, you can't really afford these mini mistakes where you're losing heroes. Your Earthshaker is just playing a little bit inefficiently by standing inside the Roche pit with you. Like, if he's able to lock them out when they're coming from the bottom hill, they would have had enough time to set up their own fight. They wouldn't have just been clumped inside the Roche pit.
Yeah, and they really pay for it too. Like we knew there was going to be some level of swing, but seeing a 4.5k swing with just that Roche fight. Like, Power Rangers took out Roshan, which helps them a little bit. That's why that graph dips down a little bit. But directly after, like, they lost 7,000 net worth of an advantage Power Rangers. And they had it. Like, MFF are still not leading in this game.
No, they were doing fine. Like, honestly, everything was cool.
Now Rise winding up. He really wants this Wind Ranger. And he got a point blank rage. Max Requiem of Souls. More money in for the SF. Arise really doesn't fear to use that ulti.
No, he's been on point with it this entire game. Like, his play this game has been, obviously his support set him up. Like, I don't want to disrespect Matt or Yapsor and say that they didn't do anything, but it's just Arise is having a standout performance. Like, he's playing so well right now with this positioning game. His game sense right now is really on point, and he's just making Power Rangers pay over and over again. And this Wind Ranger pick, I kind of understood it, but it had to just do better. Like, she's just been out-rotated by the SF.
Yeah, it really didn't help when those gangs came into mid, and it's like, okay, well, what's the Wind Ranger meant to do? I love 2-hour Sochka to get a little bit of a warning from Sun Ra. He actually dropped Sochka down to 50 life, because Sochka decided to come underneath the tier 2 tower. And then again, he's an Ember Spirit. He TP's back to base, and then Spirit's back in again. He's full life. What you gonna do?
Yeah, they haven't had to really rely on Sochka. He's done a really good job of just not dying or getting caught on the map. So credit to him as well. Like, everybody from Monkey Freedom Fighters, like, I thought the early game was pretty bad for them. Like, they fell down to like 5k within just 10 minutes. but they've just made really, really, really smart rotations. Like they kept punishing the Broodmother whenever they went into the jungle to find her. They killed her.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Welcome back, everybody, as we're going to go into our game, as I'm going to hit my other little button so we stop having a little echo, and I'll hit that little button, which means we actually have in-game sound. Wonderful. Welcome back, Blitz. So after the ordeal that was disconnects and reconnects, and we got to rise back into the game. We ended up losing Matt at one point, and he hasn't returned. Hey, as Blitz. As Blitz gets himself back into the game. So we have the SF back in, which is more of the critical hero in this game.
Yeah, if you lose your Dazzle, it's kind of okay because, let's be real, our Dazzle's just a grave magnet.
Yeah. What do you do at the start? Like, you throw down Weep before the fight begins. You've then got... Wait. Hey, what?
Yapzor's a good enough player. He'll figure this out.
Yeah.
They'll figure this out.
I'm assuming this is going to be Yapzor that's going to be microing him.
Yeah. This is the best hero that could have DC'd for you. Like, losing the Shadow Fiend, the fact that he had 2,300 gold and you couldn't buy anything on him would be disastrous. Yeah, that'd be pretty much the game.
Yeah. I'm actually wondering, too, what he's building into here. Like, is it worth having Manta style for him, or is this meant to be something bigger? Is this meant to be something more like a... I say bigger, like a Lincoln Sphere?
No, it's
like,
an IF Scooty.
It's a Scoot... Okay, it's a Scotty. So that just reinventing your own names.
I mean, you can just say whatever you want, Toby.
Okay, fantastic. He's gonna buy a bottle.
Make it a thing.
He's gonna buy a bottle.
No, I'm saying, I've heard you say a lot of words that don't make sense. So nowadays I just make up words and hope that it'll catch on with you.
Just to screw with me?
Yeah, pretty much.
What, so now in the future, like, I'm gonna be casting a game, like, well, okay, he's picked up the IF Scooty.
Yep. You know you're gonna do it.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm actually gonna do it.
It's in your brain now. I'm amazing.
No, it's because you pushed me to do it as well. Like, that means I'm actually going to do it. Until I piss so many people off that I'll then just say, you know what, I'll stop it now.
You're Toby 1, man. You're bulletproof. It's all good. Just tell everybody to do their own stuff.
Yeah, everyone. It's Shooky, damn it. It's Shooky. Remember the Shooky. Never forget the Shooky.
Was that your word for Shikuchi?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, just do you, Toby. It's all good.
Just do me.
They're just gonna go for the... they're just going to push out all the lanes, which is what you need to do against a Brood into PL.
Yep.
And they're playing pretty aggressively right now. They're just waiting for Paris's Battle Fury before they get into fighting mood. They're only like 800 off of it or something like that. And Arise is...
He finished it. It's being bought in the courier now.
Boom,
boom, boom. Mr. 16.5k in the net worth.
Is under attack.
Kind of almost looks right now that MFF, like you said, like they want to push aggressively. They're grouping up for a full 5-man attack through top. The creep wave's already there, but can they win a 5-on-5 fight with Power Rangers?
I think they can. I think what it really comes down to is whether or not, let's see, Arise has to get a really good ult off. If not even for the damage, but people always think about the SF ult as the damage, but more people in the pro scene, I think about it for the negative aura, like the debuff that it gives as well. I can't remember how much damage it reduces. It lasts like 5 seconds and it reduces damage by 50%. That's a pretty absurd reduction, especially when you're playing against heroes like Wind Ranger, who really heavily rely on that full damage.
Oh, poor little Big Num. He's going to get tossed around right now. Can't get the Paralyzing Cask off. He would have loved that having the Aghanim's fresh upgrade on his Death Ward and the Broodmother just around the corner. But he dies before he can do a single thing.
What does he have right now? He's got the Aghanim Scepter and that level 11. That Witch Doctor can still be the reason why they win this game. Easily.
Yeah. And that's if MFF kind of force a little bit too hard. Like, they still have things like Dazzle Weave. So they can gain a decent chunk of armor, but to repel something like an Aghanim's Death Ward level 2, you may want to have a little bit more than Weave.
Yeah, Raw though. He has the S&Y, so he's got some beef behind him now. He's got the Diffusal Blade. I mean, they're in fighting shape. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
As scummy as it sounds, you just keep going for the Leaky because you know it's 4v5.
That is kind of harsh, but you're also going up against, like, you're running a Broodmother of your own. Like, 4v5 or not, the Brood might add some side pressure, but Ember Spirit and SF are going to get to a point where they could easily deal with the Brood in the late game. The PL and the Wind Ranger are going to be like your only ports of call as far as strength comes. And you need a full strength PL. Like, you're going to have, I don't know if he actually wants to build into a Skadi of his own, but you'll need to have something more like Heart and Butterfly on this guy.
Let's see. Arise just forcing out all the lanes right now. I think they're really obsessed with not overextending. Just because, again, it's a 4v5 and you're playing against Phantom Lancer. You want to take the right fight. You can afford to wait the extra 2 minutes just to make sure that
they
you're
might
okay,
be forced
but...
into one. The Echo Slam on top with a Fallout Feature and Totem Storm. They are going to go the Death Ward, and the Shackle will actually hold him there.
I didn't even know there was a tree there. That's so unlucky. He would have gotten out. He even had the Spirit prepped. Like, I think he was fine if...
Do you actually see this whole new platform area? Up on top lane near the tier 1 tower, as I'm actually hitting the wrong button. This little area.
Yeah.
There's a whole new platform up there that never used to exist.
Yeah, I mean, it just got Paris killed, so I'm sure he knows about it now.
I was actually thinking, like, there's especially for the player who's in this game, Arise, like it's more skewer positions or telekinesis grab positions. Someone tries to chase you into the tree line, just put him up on the cliff.
All right. Dazzle's got 1,200 gold. That's unfortunate. They can't really do anything about it. The Lion, though, has a Blink Dagger, and so this is the support you'd rather see have items right now anyways. Like the Lion. The Dazzle really just needs to sit back and grave for whenever the Ember gets caught.
But at the same time, if Mad does eventually reconnect, he'll have all this wonderful money he can spend.
He'll be stronger for the experience.
Actually, experience is the one thing he's not getting. Because they really are just keeping him away from everything.
There's no need. What does the Poison Touch do for you at this point?
Not much.
Yeah,
and I mean, yeah,
it's fairly unlikely he's going to get his level 11 ulti.
Oh, that's some good money for the SF. We have a level 20 SF on the board. Like, I'm also seeing their 4.2k gold just sitting on PL. Interested to see what Diddy Ra decides to buy into.
I think you just need health. When a PL gets a battle, or when a Ember Spirit gets that amount of farm, and he gets like that Battle Fury and all that, getting a Butterfly is really good because a PL doesn't necessarily want to go Butterfly like this, but because you want more HP, but at the same time, the Ember Spirit doesn't want to just go straight for a MKB.
Yep.
It's really inefficient. Doesn't do anything for you really, but add pure damage. So the Phantom Lancer going for Butterfly isn't bad. Skadi and Heart are both decent options. I think the Skadi is a little bit better here.
Skadi at least gives him something more during the team fights now.
Yeah, the Heart is good for disengaging though, for sure.
Yeah. And PL is a master at that. Like, his bloody doppelganger is so hard to control. Especially if he gets lucky with the doppelganger spawn position. Always just running further and further away. For now, it looks like Power Rangers are really focusing on keeping an eye on Roshan. This is a very long spawn time for Roshan. So he's now going to spawn up. But he took a very long time to come up. I would like to say the exact time for him to spawn, but the Roshan clock is bugged. So what looked like 3.5 minutes was probably more like a full, like, 8.
I don't think it was that long. I just think that the game was kind of messed up because of the...
Oh, no, the Roshan clock is bugged.
Yeah, it doesn't show for me either anymore.
Yeah. But it's just that... Oh yeah, because he just connected in and out. Yeah. But the Roshan clock, it runs slow. Like, there's a cog loose somewhere in the code. It doesn't go at the right speed. Alright, so Power Rangers trying to protect the Broodmother, who's at this point soloing Roshan. Tusker doesn't know about this. He could just pop a sigil and throw it over and have a look. But are you really expecting, like, Roshan to be done? Like, at this point, you're probably expecting... Actually, no, they can see it. There's this observer wall that's seeing Big Num as well as Chummy, as well as Sunrise. So they know they're all clustered around Roshan. But Cheshire Cat's taking forever to do this Roshan.
He'll do it, though.
Oh, yeah, he'll get there, but, like, at what cost? Your top lane's going to heavily push in. You're going to lose, like, 2 minutes. Just time regaining control of your lanes.
Everybody is kind of split though, so they have enough time to do this, I think. Like now the Earthshaker, you notice he's standing outside of it. This is what he needed to do earlier, and yeah, he goes for the Scotty. I'm a big fan. I thought this was the item. Then you can go for the Butterfly if you want to just mess with the Ember and the Shadow Fiend. Neither of those heroes really want to get a BK or an MKB if they can help it.
It's such a wonderful time as well for a PL when you get both Aegis as well as Scotty at the same time. Because it's almost the time when PR, like I know you're playing for the late game, but you still want to be able to remove these tier 2 towers, reduce the farming patterns of Arise, because he just keeps getting more and more as time goes by. He's got 4.2k gold in his inventory, and that's to help him finish up what he's now going to get, which is the full Butterfly in for the SF. So you're also running Evasion on this SF.
Yeah, he's going to be... I mean, the game plan, I think, for Power Rangers anyways, is to not really focus so much on him. Is to kill everybody else first, and then you can pretty much just gang up and ball up on the Shadow Fiend. Because the Ember Spirit isn't so big of a threat right now that you have to worry about him too much. Once the Ember picks up his third item, I'd say is when you kind of have to burst him down immediately. But early on, when he's got so few items...
Oh, they're coming. J4's just going to go for the blind stun. And he actually only finds Yapsaw. That's not what they really wanted to commit. Also because I believe, like, my eyes might have deceived me. And my ears might have also deceived me as well, but I believe they actually triggered 2 smokes at the same time for this gank.
I have no idea.
They may have burned their second smoke. No smokes in stock for another 4 minutes now. And they got nothing in their inventory. I actually think they popped 2.
I mean, that's a while, but it sounds like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, what you're going to Roshan for more than, or what you're going to smoke for more than anything is probably the Rosh. And since they've already accomplished that, it doesn't mean too much.
Yeah.
Obviously, with those smokes, you would want to get more, but even getting a Lion is not that bad in this position. It just forces everybody from MFF to like clump up and play defensively again.
Alright, so Butterfly is fully done. I'm not really feeling the same pressure from Cheshire Cat. Like, if it wasn't for the farming inside the Dire Jungle already, I would be surprised why he's not up there. Because the PL's been taking over most of the Dire Jungle. So the surprise is now going to be revealed because it's Sing Sing with a Shadow Blade just trying to find an opening. He's going to snowball into the PL. Walrus punches him as well. There's no way to get out of this one. His Shadow Blade's on cooldown, but in comes Orion, lining up that ultimate, and he's focused onto that Earthshaker. Brings him down nice and quick. The Death Ward's going to cause some real problems, though. That bouncing damage. The Shallow Graves there is a stealth ray for the Dazzle, as Orion will just use himself up to the air. Finally, Big Num's ulti is cancelled. And Arise, well, still standing for the moment. Sunrise on the chase, but Razor will clean up a lot of these illusions, and then he finds the real one. They burn through the Aegis to the Immortal, but Arise, what's he trying to do? He's just going to death ulti out. That is not really the plan he was hoping for, because Wind Ranger now gets over 1,000 gold for that, and a huge fight for Power Rangers.
Oh, they would have lost top 2.
Yeah, if he didn't get that Searing Chain off.
Yeah, the Phantom Lancer, without the SF in the fight, is actually kind of uncontrollable. Like, even SF even got lucky there because he was about to get trapped, and then he was able to blink out after the Yules because they missed like 2 hits on him. So he was able to blink out and reset the fight at least for a little bit, and as a result, they killed the Aegis. I don't actually think they would have taken out the Aegis if it wasn't for that little bit of luck there. But it doesn't even matter. Like, the Phantom Lancer at this point is too fat.
Yep.
He's even just going to get a lot more big 2 as a result of that bottom fight.
I love how too, like, Diddy Ra, he just builds into the Talisman of Evasion to start with. But he knows no one's going to be able to complete up a Monkey King Bar anytime soon, so he just gets the Evasion now.
Nobody ever goes really for the Eagle Song as much anymore. It's the Evasion matters so much more than like the 30 agi you get.
It makes sense. But why was it always the other way around?
It was just because of you just wanted to group up and spend your money, like when you had that amount of money, so that you wouldn't lose anything, but it's never so much that anymore.
So it's now more of like, you know what, I'm just going to get something so I can fight right now.
And the Talisman is just so good for what it gives you. A quarter of attacks missing on you. When it comes to heroes like, for example, Wind Ranger trying to fight you, it's pretty massive. Or when Ember relies so heavily on abilities like Sleight of Fist to deal damage.
We get a Desolator now over on the Broodmother. I'm always a huge fan of this item, even late into the game. Especially if you're trying to bring down buildings. Easy, cheap damage. Where is Cheshire Cat headed? He's just waiting it out at the moment. Like, Yapster and that courier are the closest things he can get to a kill. As he finds Sing Sing on bottom lane, but these are all situations where he doesn't want to get involved. Like, it's potentially too much damage and an easy pick-off for the Monkey Freedom Fighters.
This Earthshaker is getting pretty farmed now, and this Wind Ranger is getting pretty massive too. Like, she has a fully completed BKB. Her MKB is almost done too. She's just 1,300 gold away from that, and that is just gonna obliterate Arise. Like, I'm sorry, Arise, but life is gonna get real rough for you in a second. They were kind of lacking damage on him beforehand, if you noticed. Because of that butterfly evasion just went to work. And they're going to go for the 5-man now, and this might actually have to be the play, because the longer this game goes on, you're not going to be able to deal with the Tricore of the Broodmother, the Wind Ranger, and the Phantom Monster.
They can see the Broodmother. They're going to snowball in. Arise actually blinks himself onto the hillside. He's not in range to dish out the damage.
Oh, he's stuck. They know about it too.
Yep. Someone needs to have a 4-stuff or something, but they just don't have it. They can't get him free, and now Sasha's going to get isolated. The stun comes in from Yapsor, buys a space for Sasha, could now also be Glimmer Cape down, as Sing Sing tries to also get him free, and the double shackle into the Echo Slam. J4 might take considerable damage, but he's still getting himself away. It's a death ward from Big Num, bringing Yapsor down to almost nothing, sitting on 3 life, and they just gotta hit him. They didn't hit him. He's blinking back into the fight, and will finally be killed off. Arise able to survive as he blinked himself away, but they just, like, they ignored him. Like, he's Mr. Cellophane right there.
I think he ring around the rosied it and played the fog perfectly.
But then he blinked into the middle of them.
It was such a sick play.
It actually looked like he double tapped. Like, he double tapped his blink, I gotta get back.
I don't know. He probably just panicked. Just trying to get anywhere.
Probably didn't understand why you're still alive on 3 life.
Yeah, I mean, he played that really well and then had a goofy moment.
Still, it could have actually been worse for Monkey Freedom Fighters. Like, Arise doesn't die. The Earthshaker got a pretty damn good Echo Slam, but you keep getting this SF out of trouble. Yeah, you lose Soshka, that's not a great thing. But you're not in too much risk at the moment.
They're going to go for this tier 2 though, and this is going to mean the MKB fully completed for the Wind Ranger. And now you're in trouble, because Arise was pretty much just living by the skin of his teeth because of the lack of True Strike. But now once he gets his MKB, the Wind Ranger can pretty much just all-in commit for Arise, because they know he's the more important target than the Ember Spirit is. Like, I like that the Ember Spirit decided to go for the Lincoln Sphere, but the one issue with it is it makes you a hell of a lot less scary. If you have crit and an MKB at this point, yeah, you're probably going to be the first target in every fight, but once you've got Lincolns and a Battle Fury, you're no longer nearly as important. 2,700 gold now on the Phantom Monster too, and a fully completed Butterfly to boot.
I kept checking the courier to see what he was going to work his way into. Because if it is the Butterfly and Heart, then yeah, there is no way for MFF to really win a fight against him. Because he'll just disengage and then come back in again and be completely full life. And then make even more copies of himself to win. And that'll buy all the space in the world for Chommy to do his work, so Monkey Freedom Fighters need to... they basically need to try and throw all the eggs in one basket. Find one way to win. I know there's going to be like a smoke gank movement, like 5 together, catch PR out of position. Even then, like buyback-wise, actually only PL's got buyback. So if they get a pick over on the Wind Ranger, and they don't have to expend too much, they could just try and 5-man it down mid. Get yourself a racked advantage at least.
I just don't know how you reasonably go down the mid lane.
Yeah, Absol's dead, I think. Nope.
No, he's got Slimmer. He's good.
He's also got Mad right behind him. Oh, the player formerly known as Mad.
This Brood, though, is pretty much going for the ultra utility build. That Solar Crest is going to mean a lot. She's got a BKB and a Deso, and you've almost got an Assault Crest too. Like, once she has an AC, Toby, that's a fantastic hero to have on your team.
Mm-hmm.
She does Roshan so quickly, you pressure so fast onto towers. One tower hits like -8 armor just from the...
Roshan has fallen to the...
That's an Aegis and cheese now.
Yep.
The Arod doesn't even have to buy anything. He's got 4k gold. He could go for the level 2 defusal if he wants. I don't think it does as much, right? When you upgrade it anymore?
Level 2 defusal?
Yeah, it only gives you the additional 15 agi and the 4 int. It no longer bumps your purge damage or your burn damage.
Really? That makes Diffusal Blade less appealing for level 2.
Yeah, before you would just
like leveled up for charges only then.
Yeah, before you would just level it, right?
Yep.
Just to give you so much more damage. Like, there was a pretty significant bump up in the amount that you would mana burn, but I think they nerfed it so you wouldn't get rid of like 600 mana in one shot.
Well, that would make sense. There's another Demon Edge coming in. This time it's coming in for the Ember Spirit. They've already finished the full Monkey King bar over on Arise. So he's got a lot more to his arsenal, and he's also got direct ways now to attack into that Wind Ranger as well as PL, which he really needed to have, as Diddy Ra takes out the tier 3 tower before MFF can even respond to it. They can throw out the raises, and they do find the real PL, but then he doppelgangers and makes even more of himself. He's soloing up this Rax. He knows he can do it. Like, it's Nagus the Immortal. What do you want to commit? Just kill off an Aegis. You've lost your bottom Rax, and the fight never even began. So Power Rangers will just do the same thing again. Like, he lands up to Arise, you slow him. In fact, Sunra just has a crack at it. Arise,
he's gonna get echoed.
Yeah, and he'll die. Buyback instantly. Snowball's going to be coming in. They have to use their economy to try and win this one. But yep, the Witch Troll, he's going to force him back. Yamso couldn't get close enough to cancel it off. Sunra's still very low, and so is Cheshire Cat, which is the one that Arise focuses on. And he has to break the Aegis Immortal. There's no other choice here. BKB's up, but Yabsor's going to die because the Paralyzing Cast still passed over to him. As Sunra back to the world of the living again. Looking for that Shackle. Can't find himself a hero. So Arise has to deal with these illusions, which are causing real problems for the Ember Spirit, but blinks forward. The cheese will be used by the Wind Ranger, so they expend both of the perks that Roshan gives, and the Snowball's on the way in. The Paralyzing Cast is going to make this very, very difficult. Malediction as well in the SF. He wants to back up, but a Spirit Breaker doing some serious... Oh, Spirit Breaker, the Tusker doing some work on the back lines, but it's not enough to keep Arise alive, as now that dieback is real. The Side of Fist Searing Chains from Sochka does able to find a revenge kill over on the Wind Ranger, but they still need to do more. Sochka being hunted down by this PL. At least Sing Sing was able to clean off most of the back line, but they don't deal with the primary problem, and that is Sunra. He just keeps pushing. We said he could basically 1v5 this, and he's practically doing it now, as there's no way that Dazzle survives. And this kind of feels like game. They've got no SF, they've got no Ember. They cannot stop PL.
Now, Wind Ranger bought back too. You don't have either of your cores for 90 seconds. At very minimum, you're getting Mega Creeps right now. Like, DRA has a buyback too.
Yep.
And he can buy the Boots of Travel #2. You see the Broodmother pick up her Boots of Travel as well. She's going to come in short order.
Oh, Sing. Is this possible? No, they just call GG. They go for the last little stun, so the GG might distract him enough that he might get the kill over on Sunra. But yeah, it's not going to be the case. This is over. It belongs to Power Rangers. They take it after what was a interesting ordeal, but they do fight back. Ariza looked really good at one point. It really looked like he was going to come out on top, but then all of a sudden PL did what I thought he was going to do before he died twice.
I think the pace of the game just got really interrupted.
Yeah.
For MFF, it's hard to focus again when you're really committed to doing one strategy and then everybody disconnects, and you've got to like constantly